This is Floating in Dreams. This is my makeup collection and inventory part 3. Welcome to everyone watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In today's video, we are going to be going through my single eyeshadow bits. These are the singles that are in palettes, which I'm going to be doing a separate video on later in the year because this needs a rejig. I need to do some swatches. I need to take decisions. But this is too much to be fitting into one video right now. So we're mainly going to focus on this. So this is all of my mascaras, brow products, single shadows, be it liquid creams or things in a pot. So we're just going to go through this as well as all of my eyeliners just to see what do I have here, what are things that I might be able to get rid of when I do get round to decluttering my makeup collection. So first things first is this little cubby, and these are the backup mascaras that I currently have in my makeup collection. Sometimes this is completely full, other times it's not. I only have open mascaras for the things that I'm actually currently using. Everything else is locked and closed, and I will not open them until I have to use them. So these are currently in my Shop My Stash. I have a brown combo and a black combo, and this also constitutes some of my favorite mascaras on the planet, and I think there's a couple of other favorites still in the cubby and backup, and then one or two new things that I would like to try. But these are things I go back to all the time. If you see my makeup empties, something I use up a lot is mascara. I just use them until they become too dry to use, or use them up completely if that's possible. And some of these have been with me for years. Let me chat about this one here. This is the Catrice Glam & Doll Waterproof. I repurchased this the minute it runs out, and I think I go through like 3 or 4 of these a year. It's a waterproof mascara that has like a rubber little brush wand to it, which I find really helpful, and it just makes it super easy to separate my lashes and to give them a smudge-proof coat, and this brush works really well on the lower lash line. And I use it over the Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. This is my favorite mascara by Maybelline. This has gotten so expensive over the years. Over here, it's like 20 euros for a tube of mascara. So I only ever buy these on a buy one, get one free deal, which is why I usually have 2. And I like the Maybelline mascaras because even though they're quite expensive for me, I mean, 20 euros for mascara I find quite pricey. I like some Essence and Catrice ones as well, but I find that those can dry out really quickly. The only one that doesn't do that for me is the Glam & Doll. But this one I can use like for 3 to 4 months, roughly around that time. Whereas most Essence and Catrice mascaras last me like 4 to 6, sometimes 8 weeks at a push. So this I like because it does have more use, so I need fewer mascaras throughout the year if I use this. And if I can then buy it on offer, I essentially pay 10 euros for each mascara, which I think is still okay. Then we have the Falsies Then we have the Essence Lash Princess. This is the brown version of the false lash effect, but I also really like the black tube with the mint green lettering. But I have come to enjoy the Call Me Queen mascara as well by Essence. This has also, like the Maybelline, more of like a natural bristled brush one, but this is more straight, so it's more similar shape-wise to the Glam & Doll. It just comes in a brown shade now as well, and I really enjoy the brown. And I really enjoy using my Glam & Doll Waterproof brown mascara to top over any brown mascara I have. This has the exact same purpose as the black one, which is to make my mascara last longer, and it's smudge proof on the lower lash line. So this has been working for me for years. I've been buying this mascara, the Glam & Doll Waterproof, since 2017. They still haven't discontinued it, and I'm going to be repurchasing it until they do. So I already mentioned the Call Me Queen. This is my current replacement for the Falsies, or the False Lash Effect one, the Lash Princess. I like them equally. This has a slightly different brush head, which I do like, or brush wand, I should say. I can't open this because this one is still sealed, and I find that the minute I open my Essence mascaras, that's when the runtime for how long I can use them actually goes in. So I do want to keep this one pristine so I can start using it in the new year. A brown mascara that I like is the Lash Without Limits by Essence as well. This is a great brown mascara. This also comes in a black, but I prefer the brown one for some reason. I like the formula just a touch better. Then another brown mascara that I enjoy is the Pure Volume from Catrice. This is actually in a shade called Burgundy Brown. Again, it's still sealed, and this is really, really good. I now see, well, no, the Call Me Queen is black. So I've got 2 brown mascaras and 2 of my favorite black mascaras, and then some new things to try, because I have a backup for my Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. So these are the 3 that I still need to try. The Kiko one, which is this minty green one, is something that I got as a free gift with purchase. Kiko mascara, formula-wise, is really good. I just don't enjoy their brush wands, and there's only so much time that I can spend on testing out mascara. If there are mascaras that do have really good brush wands that I enjoy better, that are equally priced, then I'm going to buy those, and I'm not going to buy the Kiko ones. I got this one in Japan. This is by Majolica, and it's another brown mascara that I wanted to try. Like, Asian beauty brands are known for their really good mascaras. I haven't found one that I liked enough to repurchase over the years. And then I have this, I think I got this again for free. It's either burgundy or purple, or navy or purple, Plum Twilight, so it's the purple. The Maybelline Sky High. I like to sometimes have a colored full mascara. Blue and purple are my favorite. The Lash Princess by Essence comes in a purple since the fall time. So I'm not sure how long that's going to be around, but that's a good mascara as well. So if you want something more colorful, then you don't have to go Maybelline. You can also go for cheaper things. Then this has all gotten a little messy right here in the back, so let me show you what's going on in here. This little cubby that I've pulled is actually eyeliners and eye primers, and some like overflow liquid eyeshadow. So we'll get to that in a sec. When it comes to eye primers, let's talk about that. This is the holy trinity for me. This is my Milani eyeshadow primer, my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and a MAC single shadow. I use eyeshadow primer like I do face primer. I use them up and then I move on to the next thing. This has been my favorite over the years. In the US, this retails for like what, $7 or $8? Over here, we pay 14, 15 euros for the exact same product. It's like twice as expensive over here, but I can buy this online. I get mine from Boozy Shop and I repurchase it the minute I use it up. Again, I think that's my 4th one. Same thing here with the paint pot. When I put my finger in, I can feel the glass at the bottom, so you can't really tell, but the dent is like all the way down to the bottom of this little pot. The MAC Paint Pot in Painterly has been a staple for me as well. I use the Milani at the start of my makeup routine to lay down a first sticky base, and then I use this when I do my eyeshadow to cancel out any redness and veining and all that, and I find this works better for me than a concealer. You could use concealer, you don't need a MAC Paint Pot, but that's like my 3rd or 4th paint pot, something along those lines. And this is a MAC single shadow in the shade Orb. As you can see, I've hit pan. I tend to use up 1 eyeshadow a year, or at least hit pan on an eyeshadow a year, and it's always this shade that I use to set my lids with when I use my eye primer, because I use the same shade every single day. So yes, I do use up eyeshadow, and I do hit pan on eyeshadow, but it's things like this. I just buy one whenever I need it. A lot of drugstore brands have stopped doing like these matte, creamy beige sort of shades that are a little bit more skin colored. I used to use one from Catrice in the past. I had one that I got free. I had some of the Body Shop ones. Like over the past 5 or 6 years, I've typically used up one of these like creamy white sort of base shades for setting my lids with about every single year. MAC eyeshadows come with, I think, 1.2 grams of product. That's what they used to be. I'm not sure if they are still that size. Oh, it's 1.5 grams of product. So most eyeshadows are actually 1 gram or 1.2 grams. So you get a little bit more here. And I did hit pan on it, I think in November. And you can see it's got a nice little dent there. So this is something I can use up in 2026, and I'll just repurchase the same shade again from MAC because I love this one. It goes with the paint pot really well, and this is exactly my skin color in matte eyeshadow powder form. So yeah, this is my NYX glitter primer. If I do use glitter, I use this, or if I really want to stick something down, I can use this. But I have found that by using those two primers and letting the Milani sort of set into place and wait for it to become tacky, I have no issues with shimmers creasing on me. And if they do, I know it's the formula of the shimmer. And if you need glitter glue to stick down a regular shimmer shadow, you know the shimmer shadow isn't good, is my opinion. So yes, you can use something like this, but these do not allow for blending, which is, it's kind of like the point. It's a glue. It's supposed to like stick things down. That's why I don't love them. So I only use that if I really have no other options. And then we have some other things here. The Jelly Grip, I still want to test out a little bit more. It seemed okay. It goes, of course, with the face primer, so I was curious to test it out. And then the Kiko Neutral Eye Base is one that's easier for me to get, and it's a little bit cheaper than the Milani. This retails for around 10 euros, and this is just as good. So if you do have access to Kiko, but not Milani, then you can check out either one. And I have a P. Louise Eye Base. This is in Rumor 0.5. This is something I really still want to test out, but because it has the shade to it, I'm actually not very inclined to use it. I don't really use eyeshadow primers that have a lot of color to them. So this is probably also a little bit too white for me. But it was a gift, so I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I still want to test it out to see how much I do or don't like it. And then save for these two things, which need to go here. These are all liquid or cream eyeliners. And this is a category where I always struggle to declutter because I don't use eyeliner. Ooh, I don't really use eyeliner all that much. And the reason why I don't use it is because I have deep set hooded eyes. Eyeliner is just not really a good look for me. It doesn't really go with my eye shape. I've tried all the tricks, all the hooded eye tricks that I've come across in my day. I've tested them out. It doesn't work. I like having them on hand. These cream things, for instance, are really nice as bases to deepen things up as well. And as long as they're still good to go, I'm going to keep using them and keep them in my collection, because even though I've had these for years, I still think they are really good shades, and there are still some really pretty liquid liners in here as well. But if I do anything eyeliner-wise, I just use the darkest eyeshadow in the palette. That's how I do eyeliner. So I do eyeliner, but I don't use a separate product for it, even though I do have it. So let's talk about these guys first. I have 3 of the Essence liquid liners in different shades. I've got the black, the brown, and the purple. Essence make my favorite liquid liner. Like if you want a traditional liquid eyeliner with a brush, this is the best one. And it's 2-3 euros at the drugstore. I love it. Then I also have some of these eyeliners by Japanese and Chinese, I don't know, Novo I think is Chinese. But this is a Novo eyeliner and a Heroine Make, so that's the, I always forget the brand name of it. But these were gifted to me by YESSTYLE. These are really good eyeliners. If you want a felt tip eyeliner, then for instance, make it this one. There's a reason why this is such a cult favorite. I do keep them upside down so that the tip is always saturated. I've got a couple of colorful things by Kiko. These are really lovely as well. I need to test these in a sec because these can feel a little dry really quickly, but these are cheap and cheerful. They are a felt tip again, but what I have found with these Kiko eyeliners is that I can use them on one eye and it looks pretty, and then I move on to the next eye and it's no longer as pigmented. So these I need to give a little bit of a test swatch. Oops. Just to see how they're doing. But the green seems fine. The purple is fine. Let me put that one over my little scar there, and the navy is fine as well. So these are still good to go. I can still use those. And then I just have some fun things. This was in a very random Essence collection years ago. They're called the Crystal Crush eyeliners. These do look a little thick and gloopy. Are they still okay? They are a little brush. It still works. And these are essentially multi-chrome, duochrome liquid eyeliners. So these are actually quite nice. Like they made a multi-chrome liquid eyeshadow, but those got so gloopy that I could no longer use them. Like, these are fun for parties, for drawing on your face, if you want anything like that. And then in a recent collection, Catrice came out with these Space Glam eyeliners. This is the best silver metallic eyeliner I have ever tried. So if I want a metallic eyeliner, I do have that. So I smudged it because I touched something in there. Bobbi Brown, this needs a sniff test. This is still fine. It's in the shade Poison Ivy, or just Ivy. That's still fine. Like, these things, you can smell it if they've gone bad. Then I have a couple of these MAC gel liners. This is Dark Diversion. Then I also have the black and the brown from MAC. So this is the black, this is Black Track. And like I said, I like sometimes to use these for like a smoky eye as a base. And this is Dip Down. That's the brown. And you can see I've used these. Like, back in the day when gel liner was all the rage, I definitely used these. So that's my little eyeliner cubby. This is my loose pigment / loose glitter particle. And here I go through phases. Sometimes I keep them. Sometimes I declutter them. I like this Sydney Grace one. This is really pretty for like parties and stuff. So something glittery to keep. This is Mirror Ball from JCat. This is really pretty, but I dropped it once and it went all over my desk. So that container is pretty much empty, but there's still enough in there. And then I have a couple of these hugely loose pigment shadows from Sydney Grace. Not all of them have stickers, I believe. This is Firelight Glow. That's pretty, but with these, I'm like, should I just repress them into an empty pan and make them part of my singles collection? Because this is so much product. This is Pistol. I'm not sure if you can see the shine on that, but it's that oil slick sort of multi-chrome sort of thing. And this one doesn't have any sort of name on it anymore, but I believe it was called like Comfort something. These are pretty. They're good. I mean, they fit into their little cubby. It's very, I mean, it still fits. And then over here, before we get to the shadows, so these are some liquid shadows, which we'll get to in a sec, but it also features brow products. And for brow products, you know my favorites. I don't have a backup of the Essence Make Me Brow because my shade, I don't know, but I haven't been able to find it for the past 4 months, which makes me worried. Have they discontinued mine? I don't know. I have my favorite brow pencil in here. This is the Soap & Glory Archery Brow Pencil, which I have 3 times in backup. Some of it is like older packaging. Some of it is newer packaging, I'm sure. I just buy these almost every single time I go to the UK and I'm at Boots. And then also for brows, oh, I still have Duraline in here too. So this is by Inglot. This is meant to revive liquid and cream products. I need to perhaps put it here. Then I have a bit more space for some of my single like liquid shadows. These are also brow products. These, I believe, are by, I thought they were by Heimish, but they're by Re-Ray. These were gifted to me, I think, by YESSTYLE. A dark brown and a gray brown. And these have a really interesting brush with this like sort of brush hairs. They worked okay when I used them in a first impression, but these liquid brow products aren't really my vibe. So that's why I haven't used them, but they're good products. And then I have a clear brow gel from Sydney Grace. Currently in my Shop My Stash, I've been using my Catrice Slimmatic Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. Before I decided to just go and repurchase the Soap & Glory all the time, this was my favorite brow pencil that you can still get at the Dutch drugstore. It's in Ash Blonde, so a pretty good shade for me. It's nicely cool toned. Catrice and Essence both do really decent brow products for the price point, I find. But they're not my, like Catrice isn't my favorite. And then because I couldn't find the Essence anywhere, in a whim, I decided to buy the Color and Fix Brow Gel Mascara by Catrice in the shade Blonde. And this works fine. I just find the brush a little bit too big. And that leaves me all of these liquid eyeshadows. These sort of elephant in the room, because I, again, like the loose pigments that I have by Sydney Grace. I got these in their mystery bag sort of things that I've gotten, and this is a really nice sort of like muted purpley shade. This one is more of like a taupey brown. I have this really pretty champagne shade, a little bit more of like a champagne gold, And then this is more of like a rose gold. And these are really pretty, but realistically, do I use them? And if you look at how big these tubes are, you get so much product. I've decluttered some of these over time because they were in shades I was reaching for, and I'm still not really reaching for these because I just have liquid and cream shadows that I like a little bit better. Do you want to swatch? I don't think you can buy these separately though, because I have found with Sydney Grace, if it comes from a mystery bag, that they don't have those products available as part of their regular line. So if you were thinking, oh, that's a pretty shade from Sydney Grace, and then you go onto their website and you can't actually purchase it. So I do like this one. This is the taupey brown one that does, oh, it does have a sticker. This is Twinkle Top. And that purpley one, this one is Magic Glimmer. They do have really pretty names. This rose gold one is Divinity. That's one I can realistically perhaps get rid of, even though I do like a little bit of rose gold from time to time. It's not my favorite, but this one is Enchanted Dew. And this one is Dove's Landing. Yeah, this is perhaps a little bit too pink for me. So that's the 5 of them right there. Which leads me to glittery things, because I do like a bit of a liquid or a cream glitter. Both Essence and Catrice came out with these little sticks. Apparently Danessa Myricks popularized them. Those are quite expensive because Danessa Myricks is an expensive brand. These are under €5 at the drugstore and they work really well. The Essence one I like a little bit better. This is their Jewels glitter stick. Jelly Jewels glitter stick in Diamond Dust. Comes with a little thingy here. And it feels really cold and wet, but then it's like super sparkly. I like that. It looks really pretty. The Essence or the Catrice one is about as pretty, but it just has a slightly different shade. This is the Drunken Diamonds in Lavender Jelly Haze. And this is just a slightly different shade. And I find that the Essence one is a little bit more glittery and more of a clear base. This has more pigment to it. This one feels colder. I don't know why, but it does. And then we have this Romand. This is another glitter thing by them. This is in shade 7. I believe I got this in a YESSTYLE box. I didn't pick this myself, but this is really pretty. Topped over, like if you would just want to add loads of glitter to something. It's really pretty, and it's this really nice sort of cooler silvery pink. And then we have a bunch of Lisa Eldridge. These are some really good liquid lipsticks. Then we have Lisa Eldridge. These are some of the liquid Lurex and the liquid silk eyeshadows. I got a couple more because she finally got the matte one that I wanted back in stock. This sold out super quickly. And then there were some cooler toned options that were released limited edition for Christmas that I really wanted to have. I'm not sure if they were limited per se, but it came in a little set and there was one rose gold shade that I was like, nah. So I sort of cobbled together my own little trio of shades that could work really well. And I did wear them already and they are really stunning. I really like them. The first one I got was this one. This is the green tone. This is Anaïs, or Anaïs. That's how you say it, right? I remember it from like the Cacharel commercials from the late 90s or the early 90s and the late 80s, but I was a kid at the time, so I may have misremembered that. So that's the greeny one. And then I got Emily next because that was a shade I really wanted. This is more of like a taupey one, but it does have a little bit of gold. But it's really pretty as a one and done, really easy to just apply all over the lids. And I've had those first two for a few years and they're still fine, which is why I felt comfortable buying more. This is Celine, which is like a really nice sort of like tarnished silver. And more like a gunmetal sort of shade. I do apologize for the amount of sun I have coming in. I'm not sure if you can see this very well, but the sun is right like peeking into my office here. And this silver is really pretty as well. This is Aria. And this, like, silvers are usually not my favorite shade because I feel they can look a little flat, but this one is actually really pretty. It has a lot of white to it, and it's not like too green or too whatever, and it goes really well together with Celine. But what it also is really good with is Ione, I don't know how to say this. I know it's a Greek name. But this is the matte, so these are the liquid silk, and it's a really nice taupey mauve tone, a little bit of like a My Lids But Better kind of shade, and then topping any, like Emily over this. I have not tried that one yet, but I think that will be really stunning too. And these set down, you can use them without a primer, and it's going to look stunning. And then in terms of liquids, I just have a couple more things. Who knows, who remembers my obsession with the luminous eye tints from Essence? These were discontinued already, but Shimmering Taupe was my favorite. I have one in backup. You can see that I've used mine quite a bit. For me to have this much usage on a liquid eyeshadow, but when these first launched, I wore it all the time. And this one is about as old as the Lisa Eldridge ones, like the first two, and I do feel this has gotten a little bit thick and gloopy. It does smell okay, so I can still use it, and this shade is like a more silvery version of Emily, and therefore I always enjoyed it a lot. And finally, we have my Glossier Lit Star in Fawn, which is sort of like a gray mauve tone, which I got around the same time. Like I had a liquid shadow moment for sure. And then I have one by RMS Beauty. This is their Eyelight in the shade Strobe. And this I hope is still okay. Like a lot of my RMS products that I had have started to like either seal up or whatever, but this still looks okay. And this is really pretty. It's a little bit more pinky gold than any of the other things, but I also think it's a little too similar to things I might already have. So, and I don't love this Paint Tube packaging. It's just so messy, and I always get more product than I need. That's all of those like cubbies done. The rest of it is all single powder and single cream shadow that I have in here. So if you've been with me this year, then you know how much I love these. These are by Juicy. These are a Chinese brand. One of them was sent to me in PR. The other one that I bought myself, the 114. This really pretty sort of sparkly thing. And we have MT122, which is another really nicely sparkly thing. These are really pretty as toppers or just overall, just to amp anything up. One of them, as you can see, is a little bit more glittery, and the other one is a little bit more shiny. And then as you can see over here, it's gotten a little messy again. This is mainly Kiko water shadows. I think I have a couple of other things in here. Hold on. I have a Stray Bella Beauty Bar single in here that I got as a gift with purchase. And then I have my Catrice Space Glam in here. This is pretty. This is in the shade Stardust. They did this entire Space Glam range. Catrice did, which we put that here. It's pretty, but I don't feel it's too special. And then this Bella Beauty Bar one, I've never even swatched. It's really sparkly. I do remember that. So this should probably go like into my singles and not in here. Like I just need to put it in a palette to make it a bit more manageable. Let me put it here. That is really pretty. It's like a silvery, lilac-y gold. It's got green too. It's really interesting. Very sparkly. Kiko water shadows. I've swatched these many times for you. In the black packaging, hold on. This is the old formula, and these are the new formula. So you can see that they are quite a bit slimmer, which I enjoy. These are a bit big and bulky, but those shades are no longer made. This is shade 14, which is like a really nice sort of mauvey type of shade. And this is shade 5-6, which is the taupe. And these can be used wet or dry. They are really pretty. And they are right there. In the newer formula, they've also been doing slightly more special things. So this they came out with last year. I don't think you can still get it. This is the Chrome Tech Water Shadow in shade 3. It's a really pretty sort of like purpley blue duochrome that has a bit of sparkle. It's the same sort of texture as the original water shadows. This doesn't swatch really well, with a finger swatch, I have to say. They feel a little dry when you touch them, but they look really pretty when you apply them with a brush. And for instance, this with a bit of Fix Plus really comes to life. Like, you can see how intense that is on my finger. And then you can really nicely build it up, which I enjoy about these as well. And then it's like super sparkly and a little bit of like a purpley blue flip. And then we have the one that was released in 2025. This is the Lumiverse in shade 3. This is Quantum Violet, which is this purple to gold. Really pretty. And this feels a little smoother for the first time they've done these. It doesn't feel as like dry. And it's really pretty. It's a little bit more subtle in the shine than the Chrome Tech, but it's still really pretty. And then the other 4 that I have that are the old formula for these. So these you can no longer buy, I'm afraid. We have 227, which is the very light taupe shade. This is really, really pale taupey, almost silvery taupe. It's got a little bit of sheen running through it. It's really pretty. There it is. I also have 228, which is a slightly deeper taupe. Right next to it. And we have 201, which I believe is like a rosy taupey thing. It's more like a beige shade. And we have 213, which is this green teal sort of thing. Now, fun fact about me, I actually repurchased a lot of these older water shadows after decluttering them because I missed them in my collection. Next up, we're gonna go through this cubby, and this is quite miscellaneous, I think. Yeah, these are quite a few like things I'm like, oh yeah, I still have that too. Oh, another juicy one. So in here is a cream shadow from Essence. This is what they came out with in 2025. It's pretty, but I remember this not being the longest lasting shadow. This is the cream eyeshadow in Oyster. That's right there. I have 2 of these Moira shadows. These are the Infinity Lucent Cream Shadows in Infinity and Jupiter. These are really pretty, but now that I have the juicy shades, I don't think about these anymore. These kind of, the juicy have just replaced what the Moira can do. I'm not gonna lie. So those are right there, nice and sparkly. And as I just realized, I have a 3rd juicy shade. This I think I also bought with my own money. This is D11. And this is more like a silvery sort of thing. This is a bit more of a white base. This one I feel is like the least interesting of the 3 I have. This is a beautiful eyeshadow. This is by M Cosmetics. It's in Luna. And it's a really interesting sort of, is it a gold, is it a silver, is it a white kind of shade? It's a little bit like creamy, but it does blend like you would a powder. So it's a little bit of an interesting one. It's gotten a little chunky, but it's really pretty. I hope you can see. I think this is better. Because of the sun, I can't really see what the camera registers. I just see sunlight. And then these 2 by Clavu. Again, I have the juicy ones now. This is a K-Beauty brand. This is Silver Lilac, and the other one is called Glam Brown. And these are pretty. These are good shadows. Especially Glam Brown with that little bit of like shimmer running through it. But Silver Lilac is really pretty too. Like, I hope you see what I see. Maybe if I do it here. Very often filming in direct sunlight is like the worst. And then the Hourglass Scattered Light eyeshadow in Smoke. I had heard so many people raving about these, but this line doesn't come with a single cool tone, or at least not anything that I was like interested in. So this was the closest I could get. It's like a taupey brown, but just not quite. It's got, like, when I swatch it on my skin, it looks so peachy rose gold that I don't really like wearing it, to be quite fair. I have this thing from Holika Holika that was long since discontinued. This is the Moon Dust eyeshadow, Moon Flash. That's what this is called. It's got a little lid to protect it. You can see, like, I don't want to get this all over the place. It's sort of like, again, in between a cream and a powder. And I don't know, they no longer do this. I know that much. This feels a little scratchy, but it is beautiful. Do you see? And this is by Blessed Moon, and this is Black Swan. And it's essentially a pressed glitter, and I'm not a huge fan of pressed glitter. You can see how chunky that is. Ooh, it feels super dry. Oh, this is completely sealed over. This was supposed, like, it's as hard as, like, it's just really gritty now. See, it doesn't even swatch. So that's something that has expired. And then we just have this little cubby here off to the side. So let me empty that one out. In here I have more Moira. So I have tested out a little bit of Moira, but I have to say, like, they're a really good affordable brand in terms of price point, but I haven't loved anything I've tried by them. It's okay. It's okay. I just think it's cheap makeup. It looks cheap, it feels cheap, and I don't think it's gonna last very long. I have Eureka and Muse in these Star Show shadow pots. And again, as you'll see in a sec, I really feel that they've tried to, like, dupe something here. These are more of a cream formula. That's Eureka right there. And this is Muse. That would be Muse right there next to it. And I mean, they're pretty shades, don't get me wrong, it's really pretty. But the thing they're trying to do, you will see in a sec. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Shadow Pop Shot in Quartz, Smoky Quartz. And this is really pretty packaging, but this is so small for what it is, but it is a really good shade. I also have one of the duochrome ones. That one I didn't enjoy as much as I do this one. And that's like the only cool tone I ever seen done by Charlotte Tilbury. These are some recent purchases, so I haven't tested these out yet. I picked this up in the Black Friday sale when I was in London. This is the MAC Extra Dimension eyeshadow in Smoky Mauve. And it's really pretty. It's like this cooler toned, purpley sort of thing with a bit of a silver flash to it. It's really pretty. That I still need to put on my lids though. I haven't had time for it yet. And I have the Urban Decay eyeshadows, just a regular single and one of the Moondust ones. The Moondust one is in Space Cowboy because this had a moment online. And right when it had a moment online, the brand was no longer available where I live because Urban Decay has been taken off the European, like mainland Europe market. It's no longer available. You can buy it in some places online, but like I said, like I've mentioned many times also with foundations and stuff, I like to see things in store before I make a purchase because it just makes it so much easier to purchase things. And this is Mushroom, which is a shade I had been wanting to try for such a long time. And it's this really nice sort of like silvery brown, but not charcoal. Like it's a really good taupe shade, but it's more like cool tone leaning. It's got more gray sort of silver to it than most taupes have. And this I'm really nervous for. It's the Glazed Gel Chrome Eyeshadow by Barry M. This is in the shade So Exclusive, I think. And this, can you see that when I touch it? Like what this does. It's this really weird, it's a bit like the ColourPop Jelly Mud Shadows, and I'm really afraid to tip it to its side because I think it might leak anywhere, but look at that. It's so pretty. It's so, so pretty. So I'm going to put it here. It's really wet feeling and then it dries down, but look at that sparkle. It's so pretty. And that was at the UK drugstore. I think it was like a Christmas special edition type of thing. I'm not entirely sure. And then, of course, all of my Victoria Beckham Beauty, what are these called again? Luster pots? Lid lusters, that's what these are called. So I got a couple of these gifted to me in PR. I actually bought one of these. I went to the Victoria Beckham store on Dover Street in London because I really wanted to see the brand because they are so expensive. They now have a couple of beauty counters in, for instance, Selfridges and stuff. So you can, if you're now in London, you can see the products a little bit more easily because I felt really strange going into this like luxury clothing store and then asking the girl who worked there like, hey, can I just have a look at the makeup? And I bought Mink, and the brand must have seen that because they then contacted me and were like, hey, can you let us know what you would like to try from the brand? And I was like, I'll just send them a couple of suggestions, and then they sent me my entire wish list, which was really nice of them, and they really didn't have to do it. And then in a Black Friday sale, I bought like 2 more. So I didn't pay full price for all of these, in case you were wondering, because I know this is a very, very pricey brand. This is the original, the Instigator, that got it all done. This is Mink, and if this looks like a Moira Lust, like the eyeshadows I just showed you, it's because I think Moira is very much trying to dupe these. They feel very similar, where this is like a cream to powder sort of formula where, yes, it's a powder. It certainly is a powder shadow, but it does have this very creamy texture. But these have held up so well. Like Mink is, till this day, it's a little bit of a deeper taupey cool tone brown. It's so stunning. I love that thing to pieces. Then a silver that I love by this brand is Mirror. Again, I don't love silver shadow because I find it usually a little bit flat, but this one is really pretty. And there is Mirror right there. This is one I really wanted to own as well. I was like, if I enjoy Mink, I'm gonna buy Velvet. And Velvet is the, like, it's a gold, but it's like a greeny olivey gold. An antique gold is what I would call it. It's really pretty. Like, do you see how much green that has? That's why it works. I don't normally love a gold because they're too yellow, but this, because of that, like, rustic, antique-y green. Yummy. And, of course, to do a bit of a smoky eye, and this goes really well with both Mirror as well as Mink. This is Onyx. This is the black / charcoal gray. I'll put that over here. So this is really pretty. If you want to do an instant smoky eye, for instance, like just laying down a little bit of MAC's Black Track, the gel liner I showed you, this all over it, and you have the best smudgy rock star smoky eye of your life. And then I have Midnight, and this is the dark blue. And navy blue is a shade that Victoria Beckham Beauty does really well, as you'll see in a sec. This is really pretty. And there is the navy blue. So those are those swatches. And that means we have this one left, which is just a bunch of cream shadows mainly, and my Kaleidos highlighters, which I use as eyeshadow. If I use the Kaleidos eyeshadows, or highlighters, I use them as eyeshadow. So let me run you through. I have a Kiko eyeshadow in shade 7. This is one of their moussey eye pot type of things. I believe this particular shade was discontinued, which is a bit of a shame because this is really pretty. It's this really nice sort of silvery beige. As you will see in a sec, I love a silvery beige cream shadow. We have the Kaleidos highlighters, the Gifted and Prophecy. This is the more warm-toned one. It's got green and gold and pink, but it is definitely a little bit more warm-toned. I hope this shows up. Maybe if I hold it here. You can see the shift a little bit better. And Gifted I like a little bit more. You can also see I've used it more often. It's got a nice big dent in because this pulls lilac on me. Like this has a more, again, it starts green, but it actually has a little bit of a, maybe I can put my, no, that's too dark. But I hope you can see the shifts of these. And I like the Gifted one just a touch better for that reason. But these are so intense that I can't use them on my face. I have these Jelly Jewels from Essence. These are eyeshadow toppers. Are these like loose pigments? I hope not. Oh no, they're like this jelly thing. Ooh, these are rock hard. Oh, they're supposed to be like the Berry M thing. Ooh, and they smell atrocious. Celestial Shimmer and Golden Glam. Ooh, this is even worse. And these only came out about a year ago. I've only had these for about a year, and they've hardly ever been opened. See, I don't mind affordable makeup, but if it doesn't last because it just sits on in your makeup collection and then it goes bad super quickly, I don't like that. And I've mentioned this in other videos as well. That is my experience with cheaper makeup. You need to throw it out a lot more quickly than high-end brands because they just don't use as many preservatives. This REM Beauty thing, will it still work? I believe it's called Affinity Affirmation. Close. These were discontinued because the brand could not keep these shelves stable. So no, this as well. This has completely collapsed. Ooh, and it's so hard. There's still a little bit of payoff. But yeah, this has seen better days, and there's a reason why the brand no longer sells this product. It really was an issue with the stability of the formula for most people, I think. A cream shadow that I've had for years. This is by H&M. This is Dauphine Truffle. They no longer do this. But this is still good to go, you know, go H&M. But then again, the H&M makeup line, at least this one, when they had this one, I don't know where it's made now, but these products, back when I first started trying them, were all made in Italy. And I also feel like that was a lot of their products were so similar to Hourglass. It was shocking. It was like buying Hourglass on the cheap. And then, of course, I have narrowed this collection down so much over the years. These are all of my... Ooh, there's hair here. I've narrowed down this collection so much over the years. These are my ColourPop Super Shocks. This is Ritz and this is So Quiche. These I travel with all the time, so that's why they look very used and the name has even rubbed off. And these are just some fun extras that I have. So here's Ritz. Remember what I said about liking like a nudie beige shade? I don't know what's going on with that little sliver, but I try to keep it in here. You can see that that's pan. Yes, I do hit pan on eyeshadow, people. I just don't do it very often. But this is just so crumbly. I do have a backup of this, so I have a fresh one ready to go. And this is so low down. That's why you get those little flakes, actually, because they just break off. There's really only still product on the edges here. So maybe I should just throw this out and call it a day and start using my new one, because this is also a little bit dry, but it still works. And then we have So Quiche, which we all know I love. This is also getting down there. And again, So Quiche I have a backup of, because So Quiche was also discontinued for a bit, and I love using them together. In this lighting, I don't think you can see, but Ritz is really good as a topper shade over other things, and So Quiche provides the depth that I usually want. I have an Angelic, which is like this pinky purple type of lavender thing. This is pretty. Oh, these were in my Shop My Stash. So there's Angelic. We have Sailor, which is really pretty with Dauphine Truffle, and also Affirmation by REM Beauty. Ooh. Yeah, it's essentially Ritz, but then with a slightly different sparkle to it. And I have Frog, which is a similar story. It's very similar to Sailor or Ritz, but then with a slightly different shimmer to it. And Frog over Dauphine Truffle has been like one of my go-to favorite like combinations. So this over that is super pretty. And then the final ColourPop Super Shock is I Heart This. This is one I used to own, and then I repurchased it because I missed it. So this is not going anywhere. It's like a more intense version of Ritz, really. This can be more easily worn on its own, I find. And then I have my little Trini London stack that is always living on top of my vanity, because if I just need to do some really quick eyeshadow and I don't have time to use a palette, this is what I reach for. So I use Mystery the most. You can see I have a nice big dent in there. This is like a taupey, sort of taupey gold, but not too gold. Like, it's a really good neutral for me. And I just use it with a finger, fluff it up into the crease, and I'm good to go. And again, I travel with this. I whip it out every single time. The second shade is Magician, and I actually thought I was going to like this one more because it is a little bit more cool tone. But if I go for a one and done, I want there to be a mix of like cool and warm. A Magician is also a little bit deeper, so I do like it. It's really pretty, but I use Mystery more, which I had not expected when I got these. We have a darker shade. This is Chalice. I don't use these deeper shades all that often. This also feels a little less emollient because it just has less shine. And this is great for a smoky eye. And this is a really nice sort of like cool tone, gray, mauve taupe type of thing as well. Like, I just like the things that I like, people. I'm not going to apologize for it. And then this is discontinued. This is one of their eye to eyes that is like more metallic, glitter heavy. That's why it has a little sponge. I can't pronounce the name of it. And this is a little bit more glittery, but these dried out really quickly, they told me in store, which is why they were being discontinued. And this indeed feels a little bit dry, even though this is the final one I got. So I bought them in like sections. I don't buy everything in one go, people. Don't think I do. But it's really pretty. It's like, again, a little bit like Velvet by Victoria Beckham Beauty, but then more cool toned. It gives me a similar vibe, and it's really nice and sparkly. I hope I can fit that in here. So these are all of my pencil liners and shadow sticks. This is in a slightly different drawer because I keep it on top of my vanity, because I have found out that I don't use products like this unless they are right front and center in front of my face. If I stick these in a drawer, I never reach for them. I have a load of different things in here. I'm not going to be swatching all of them. I'm going to open it all up to see if they're still good to go, because these Kiko eyeshadow sticks can get a little bit moldy if you don't close them really well. What I've been using the most is a Kiko eyeshadow stick or a Victoria Beckham eyeliner. These were in my Shop My Stash in December, which is when I'm filming this. So that's why these are top of mind, you could say. This is in shade 20, which is a really nice shade to like deepen something up if that's what you want to do. It just goes with everything. And then from Victoria Beckham, this is the Satin Kajal eyeliner in Cocoa. And I always get the wrong side. This time I don't. I need to sharpen this, I see. And this is a really nice dark brown. This is a cult favorite. If you ask me, like, what is the best pencil eyeliner, these are the best. These are the Rolls Royce of eyeliners to me. Do you need to spend this much on an eyeliner, though? I don't think you do. The reason why I have so many is, again, because the brand did send me a bunch of these in PR because I requested them when they contacted me, and then I bought a couple of things in the Black Friday sale. They do interesting shades. The formula is long lasting. I struggle with allergies, watery eyes, and this does work. So that's why this one is also so well used, you could say, because I definitely need to sharpen it. And I have a bunch of their shades, and I just buy a couple whenever I want them. It's been years since I've been building that little collection, you could say. But the Kiko ones are a really good alternative, and they do some really lovely things as well. But I have eyeshadow stick wise. I don't know if I can hold them all into one hand, because there's a lot of them. These are all of the Kiko eyeshadow sticks that I currently have. I do declutter them from time to time, so I'm going to give them a quick sniff test. You can see what I like. I've got all of the neutrally taupey brown shades. I have a couple of the matte shades. I have a multi-chrome somewhere. I don't know where it went. Some green tones and then some navies, because I like to do navy smoky eyes sometimes. And some of these are really old. You can see the difference in packaging. The shiny ones are newer and the matte ones are the old packaging. And they used to do the shade name on the side like this, but now they do the shade names on the bottom as well. I think this is all the other Victoria Beckham eyeliners I have. I have the silver, I have a green, I have a navy, I have, is this smoky quartz? This is smoky quartz, which is the taupey one. And then I have the burgundy and the purple. I have one Lisa Eldridge eyeliner, which is very similar to the Victoria Beckham, but I like those a little bit better than I do this one. This is in Night Forest, which is a really nice dark green. I find that the Victoria Beckham line doesn't have a really good dark green, so that's why I own this. And that way I got to test out the Lisa Eldridge formula. I have this shade by 1999. This is just a brown. That's not that special to me. Some more eyeshadow sticks. I have this Wycon eyeshadow stick, which is really pretty. It's more of a rose gold though, so not a shade I wear a lot. And then I have this Mina eyeshadow stick. I used to have the same shade in a pot, which I actually preferred, but it dried out. So that's why I still have the stick. A NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, always good to have. And then I have a Victoria Beckham eyeshadow stick in Shroom. This one fell out when it arrived, but it's okay. This is a really nice taupe, shimmering taupe. Now, if you find the Victoria Beckham ones too expensive, then I can recommend these, the Intense Color eyeliners from Kiko. As you can see, I have them in several shades. I've got like a taupey shade, a very light taupey shimmer, a teal, a purple, a green, and a brown. I have still this really old line of brown eyeliners from Catrice, and I really always loved this. This was in Hazel the Hoff. It's a twist-up gel eyeliner, and I use this so much. You can tell from it. And this Kiko eyeliner is the first thing I've ever bought that is very similar to this. And then from that same very much discontinued Catrice line, I still have some other ones. I have a silver, I have a gold, and a khaki green. They discontinued those like a decade ago. I tend to keep my eyeliners for quite some time. A couple of Essence eyeliners. Essence do really good pencil liners. These are really nice. I think I have the black. Yeah, Black Fever. I have this green in, oh, no, it's a dark gray, sorry. In Opal, it looks green in this lighting. And then this blue is Deep Sea Baby. I have a NYX like lavender shade in the Epic Wear line. I also have some more Catrice here. These are all their kohl kajals. These are pretty, and I just keep them for the shades, really. So I have a periwinkle, a baby blue, and a pink. The pink is nice for like brightening up the waterline, if that's what you want. And then I have the Kaleidos multi-chrome eyeliners as well in here. Those are not going anywhere because those are really special. They do break really easily. They're very fragile. I believe they've extended the multi-chrome eyeliner selection, I believe. And then I have the Unleasha glitter sticks in Flutter and Wee Hours. So when it's time to declutter, I know that this is pretty much good to go. These are all still okay. I actually decluttered a lot of my pencils last year, and I haven't bought anything new since then. So I know that these are shades I like. If I wear these kind of products, this would be it, really. So that's everything I wanted to share with you in this video today. So yeah, these were all of my like single eye products. This is due a declutter. I need to rejig this so that it fits again in my brain, you could say. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I have one more part coming in this makeup collection inventory series because I still need to show you lips. Palettes, I'm going to leave for, again, the declutters in case you're curious after that. But I'm going to be swatching a lot of my lip products for you right after I film this video. So you can look forward to that part. And then I have 4 videos going live a week on this channel. I have a second channel where I post about books, fashion, and I vlog from time to time. So if you want to get to know me a little bit better, then you can follow my second channel. That is called Floating in Books. It's always linked down in the description box down below. And you can follow me on TikTok for more, or the blog if you want more reviews and things like that. Like, you can find me somewhere. So thanks so much for watching me today, and then I hope to see you again really, really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.